to tell you about another amendment to the carbon tax, Bill 20, that the NDP shot down. It was an important amendment brought forward by Wildrose MLA Nathan Cooper because it sought to level the playing field between different agricultural producers in Alberta. Just watch.
The purposes and uses prescribed under Section 1 for which a rebate may be paid must include fuel used for production of food in a greenhouse operated for financial gain.
So that's a really good amendment. We know that purple fuels used by farmers will be exempt from the carbon tax. But what good does that do for our greenhouse producers who use natural gas to heat their greenhouses earlier in the season or late into the fall? This is Alberta. We have a short enough growing season already, and the very best way for greenhouse producers to offset that unfortunate fact is the use of clean burning natural gas. But guess what? The NDP shot that amendment down like every other common sense measure that was brought forward to get in between these NDP destroyers and our money. And like always, they gave the dumbest excuses. Here is NDP MLA Thomas Dang making a total fool of himself. Here.
We are looking at the simple facts, and the fact is that when we're talking about greenhouses and we're talking about these types of operations, natural gas prices are at absolutely historic lows, Madam Chair. Even with the carbon price, consumers will be paying less for natural gas than they have on average.
So Dang says natural gas is cheap, so it's okay to hike this huge operating expense for Alberta greenhouse operators. What a remarkably stupid statement, without foresight. Just because natural gas is cheap today doesn't mean that it will always remain low, nor does it mean that it's a good idea to raise the cost of it by 50 to 75%. Does Dang think greenhouse operators are wealthy moguls like Scrooge McDuck with little sacks of money with dollar signs on them? Greenhouse operators in Alberta eke out a living in a short growing season in an unforgiving Alberta climate, competing against cheap Mexican labor, longer Californian growing seasons, and lower BC mainland producers who don't need to use natural gas at all. Dang is obviously someone who has only ever signed the back of a check and never the front. And here is what the carbon tax does in reality for Alberta greenhouse operators. It puts a tariff on Alberta grown produce. The NDP are adding a cost to Alberta produce only. For example, a tomato grown in beautiful Bonaccord, Alberta has a lower carbon footprint by the time it gets to your plate than one from California. If you care about that sort of thing, I don't, but the NDP obviously does. Now, the NDP are treating the California tomato preferentially because only the Alberta tomato will be subject to the carbon tax from the moment it was a tiny seed. The Alberta tomato will be more expensive after the carbon tax, the new minimum wage, and the new expenses created for Alberta farmers in Bill 6. Alberta greenhouses will lose business. They will have to lay off staff because they can no longer keep their costs close to that of their domestic and international competitors. It's simple economics. Higher input costs means a higher consumer price. But like I said before, these NDPs don't have any business sense or a business person amongst them who'd understand that simple fact. Greenhouse operators are farmers too. A different kind of farmer, but a farmer nonetheless. They're important in Alberta agriculture. They produce that locally grown sustainable food the NDP likes to say they love to support. In actuality, Bill 20, the carbon tax, manages to create the same kind of two-tiered results in the farming community as Bill 6 did, with some farmers being exempt from some parts of the legislation and others not. Bill 20 punishes all farmers, but some more than others. It's true, some animals just are more equal. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn-Reid.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.